Focus. Tune. Listen. Think of red. Close your eyes. Still nothing. This isn't so hard. I know you can do this. This should be simple for you. Why is nothing happening? Are you scared? Are you still nervous? That doesn't have to hold you back, you know. If that is what you feel, then dwell on it. Don't hide from these emotions simply because they're unpleasant. This frustration, this helplessness that you feel can be pushed outward. Push all that you have into the glass. Such a puny, simple thing, such a fragile obstacle should not even be a consideration on your mind. It's a waste of a thought, a waste of time for you. No, don't clutch the glass so hard. Do this properly. You're afraid. You're distracted. You're undisciplined, so you don't know how to navigate these feelings of being so afraid. I know perfectly well that you must be. You should be. You've been ripped from your home. You don't know if you'll ever return. You don't know if you'll ever see any of those people again. If that does not warrant some kind of fear within you, then I'd fear to have purchased an effigy of a mage, a doll of a person. A wielder of magic should not shut out their emotions. It's a compromise between accepting them, but framing them in a different way in your mind, a more constructive way. It is okay to be afraid, and it is normal. I understand that I'm asking you to tame something that has been perhaps more akin to a wild beast inside of you than a loyal hound awaiting your command. Would you like some water? Now you may speak. Would you like some water? Because you haven't had any this entire day's journey, you must drink sometime. I have plenty here just for you. It's important. Fine. Perhaps I am the one who should be worried. That my considerable investment will have been for nothing but a few days of non-conversation before my new toy suddenly expires, rather than simply cooperating with me. One more time. I understand that I'm asking a task of you, and I am not so cruel as to deny you a window of failure to it. I've been careful to leave you to your thoughts undisturbed until now. I think I've been considerate and understanding. But listen. If you're trying to hide yourself from me because you believe that a defective doll will simply be returned to where it was found, you are mistaken. Water? Well, I will leave it here beside you then. Please, have some whenever you'd like. It's quite a lovely day out. Perhaps the last truly sunbathed day of its kind for quite some time before the snow falls. But the view for now is excellent, isn't it? Have you ever been this far west? This high above the plains and hills? Surely not at your occupation. Best enjoy while we can, huh? This southern side of the mountains are particularly scenic, I've always thought. I don't get the chance to be out here often. They're renowned for their cherries, did you know? How admirable to see such a thing still growing despite the cold, harsh environment. Which I expect you will not be accustomed to, which is why I should give you ample warning now. We'll find clothes suitable for you, of course, but it can be rather rough still. Have you been to Ventrinia before? The cities? Well, maybe things are different among the farms, but here, in the city proper, the people you will be interacting with from now on, do consider ignoring a direct question to be incredibly rude. One can't simply deny conversation because they are in a mood. Do you understand that? Will you really choose not to speak to me for the entire rest of the journey? You can't speak, right? They speak where you're from? Well, this is becoming quite a tired exchange already. You're lucky it was me that found you, instead of any of the number of other noble families that would be salivating at the thought. Thankfully for you, I am as shrewd as I am patient. And I do consider one of my most shining traits to be patience. That and my ability to enthusiastically keep a conversation from dying out, no matter how soul-crushingly one-sided it may be. A skill that has been quite useful among the very people you'll be getting to know soon. We don't have to be friends. I'll say it another time that I can empathize with the position that you're in right now. But I'm trying to set a good precedent for this new relationship of ours. A strong foundation. I'm being affable and I'm being kind, but you are making me doubt my efforts. This does not have to be a pleasant experience for either of us, and perhaps you do not realize just how lucky you are that I am willing to put in the effort for it to be. But I would like it to be. So please, a conversation, a response, an acknowledgement that I am here with you right now, breathing the same air. What is your name? Then be silent if you must, but you will show me what you are. Focus. Tune. Listen. Think of red. Nothing but red. Searing hot all around you. Overwhelming. Blinding. Do something! I can practically feel your heart beating from here. Sometimes stress and panic can actually help these abilities manifest. Did you know that? Because you did very much manifest them a half-month ago, didn't you? Back home. Everyone witnessed you do it. Everyone had the same story. All of the tiny, innocuous details matched between all accounts. All the evidence was bare to see. There is no hiding yourself from me, doll. Coach! We'll be arriving tomorrow at this rate. Look, down the valley. The homes and shops sprawling throughout the entirety of it. You can almost hear the bustle from all the way up this mountain path. Exciting, isn't it? Let me show you better. Come. Calm. I'm not going to hurt you. And even if I wanted to, I fear you're not in much of a position to protest. Unless, of course, you channeled the power of that Thadestone you've been gripping so tightly to simply remove me, smash the carriage to pieces, disappear into the crowded streets down the hill. Or perhaps you'd like to rob the carriage first. Seize the valuables for yourself, bring them back to your town should you like. Build a new one should you like. The Thider itself would pay for a good chunk of it. Will you? Or will you commit to this role of the powerless doll that you insist upon? I cannot read this expression one bit. How unpleasant. Though that's nothing compared to the discomfort you must be feeling, I'm sure. Uncouth to complain. Come. Surely you'll take a chance to be outside. Stretch your legs a bit. This side, come. Admire the view with me. It's unlike anything you've seen. Please. Oh, the wilderness does not frighten you, does it? Ah, you're not used to this. You wouldn't be, would you? Well, don't be scared. Just keep that Thider with you. Don't let it go. I told you, just like the Thadestone back at your village, how the energy inside repels the monsters, this is just the same, only smaller. But we're a small party, so it will suit us just fine. How nice. Thank you. The dwindling sun flatters you. Your hair looks so soft. May I? Even as bland a color as this, there's a quite lovely sheen to it. It reflects sky so well, be it the orange-purple hues of a sunset or the fiery noon sun itself. When I first laid eyes upon you, I would have sworn that you'd been claimed by another family already. Hair dyed on the spot, so there would be no mistake that you belonged to their ranks. Lucky me, that was not the case. And, lucky me, this would take so well to the dye. White would be very suiting for you, in my opinion. What a lovely thought. But I am more selective than just that. The rumors of your abilities are alluring, but I would not accept just anybody into this family. Grandstanding titles given to those of us lucky enough to be conceived at the right time and place are one thing. Merit is quite another. Careful now. Not too steady on your feet, are you? You seem quite fatigued, actually. I would ask if you're perhaps unfed, but that would be somewhat ridiculous, being that your profession is to produce food. Well, there's plenty in the carriage. Shall I fetch something for you? Or you'll deny that as well, I take it. This is not a ploy, is it? In the city, in the slums, there are supposedly shadowy figures so deft of hand they could pick a lock with any mere utensil. Perhaps you are a clever kind of scoundrel as well, eh, doll? Or perhaps you are a performer, a sly thing playing the part of a fatigued, delicate country soul, biding your time, lying in wait of the perfect moment to strike. Perhaps these hands are delicate things, meant for holding the warmth of another. Is that right? Could that be what you need to feel comfortable? Darling? Not the reaction I would typically expect. I like to believe that you are in fact too weary to fully comprehend the world around you at this moment. Wouldn't that be nice for you? A reason to excuse your lack of ability on the way here. A reason to excuse your lack of manners. Of course, if that were the case, one would expect, then, for the little doll to show its true potential upon a good night's rest. If it still could not perform, well, that would be quite a bad look. Anyone, no matter how wealthy or impatient, would be off-put by such an expense. 522 pieces for a quiet, dull, defiant doll. Not a good prospect, is it? I dearly hope that you have something in store for me. In time. The city is close now. We should arrive before evening tomorrow. I will give you this night to fully resign yourself to your new expectations. Besides, it is only proper for the host to introduce their the guest, to their arrangements first and foremost. I've been ahead of myself. Prudent as it would be to ensure that I haven't been deceived and robbed of my money, I suppose it's too late now either way. I want you to know a few things before we arrive at the manor. I corrected myself a moment ago because you, at present, are not fit to even be a servant of House Levico. To be so lucky is to be plucked from the dirt and allowed to such safety and comfort and extravagance. For nothing. It's an insult to the hard-working servants that we would normally employ. I would not choose to insult my companions by standing them next to an unknown, with no proper reason to be there. They know nothing of you. Neither do I. I do not know if you are deserving of a place at my side, and you're doing little to cooperate with me now and alleviate my doubts. Perhaps you are a scoundrel, or just a lazy opportunist, coasting on the effort of your peers if it means an easy day for you, as you neglect your hounds and hens that rely on you for their own safety. I assume that's how things are where you're from? Lots of animal care, that sort of thing? Well, I don't know what it's like in your village, and I do regret that. Perhaps things are different there. So, I will make this clear now and spare us both the misunderstanding. I do not tolerate that behavior here. If you do not protect and respect those around you, then I have no choice but to understand that you wish to be treated worse than an animal. Not that you'll be around any for the near future. You will be with me completely. Can't let a stranger just wander my halls as they please, can I? Just do your best. How about that? Give this new life of yours an honest chance, and I think you'll be much happier. While I would like you to be a part of this family proper, if you refuse to behave yourself, then you will simply be disciplined in turn. As I said, there is no weaseling your way out of your obligations. I have paid a fair price for you, and one way or another, I will get my money's worth. If you should like, then, and only then, to be released into the city and allowed to starve in the streets or freeze in the snow, then so be it. But these hands will be put to use until then. This is becoming tiring. What is your goal here? What do you hope to gain exactly? Are you a masochist? Do you want to be disciplined so desperately? Do you not understand the position you're in? If you truly think I'm some kind of monster, then I can show you firsthand what the rest of the world is like by comparison. Come here. If you want nothing to do with me, give me the fighter back. Are you satisfied? Before you make a move, though, doll, listen. Look. Do you hear them? Shh. They're prowling, of course. I'm not sure what exactly. Some kind of beast in the thick of the trees. They're testing the edges of the Thiter's presence. For these creatures, a Thaidstone out here of all places is a sudden disturbance. It's throwing off their routine. It feels like an attack on their home. They're becoming agitated. The only thing keeping them from attacking is this Thiter of mine. So, consider your options carefully. I think you take for granted just how lucky you are. I saw what the conditions of your village were like when I came for you. The Thaidstone there was impotent. Horses and cattle are being picked off by the monsters, aren't they? How long before the people start becoming targeted too? With me, you will never have to worry about such a thing. You are scared. I know this wasn't your plan from the start, because if it was, you would not have so defiantly refused food and water like a sulking child. How do you plan to deal with such creatures so exhausted as you are? You're acting out. You know what will happen if you leave here. So, you'll stop these outbursts and you'll accept your place here with me, and I will forgive your behavior. We can start again with each other. We can hone these abilities within you. You can go on to do incredible things with them. With me. Think carefully about this.